All right, and we are off. What do we got first? Big Love? A welcome sight with the way some of these matches have been going.
Yeah, and everybody's taking the same route, it looks like.
Oh, we had the map check I just missed.
So Uncle Route is pretty popular today, as it seems.
Yeah, it pays off. You get a tree pool in there pretty early.
It's definitely my preferred route.
Ooh, and the Big 8.
Yeah.
Oh, that is
bombs
nice.
Are not gonna be a triple at all.
Yeah. Ready to go with trip to Kakariko to blow open all those famous walls.
Also, Rywek must have forgotten to remove his waiting to be given seed.
And, meanwhile, we're getting hammer off the uncle. That does start the game off a little bit differently. Along with Ether.
Yeah, Ether is nice, especially if they find a sword sometime soon. One of my favorite early game strats is to use that in the Moldorm Cave.
Oh, for sure. It's an absolute certain kill.
I'm actually, I wonder if there's some sort of, I don't want to say collusion, between the bottom two players to both use the Dark Link sprite.
Yeah, our players do get to choose their sprites here for this. Each of them having their preferences. It's interesting to see how they line up the different bomb jumps and things like that. And
so
Rywek has to turn back on his, there's his layers.
Yeah, 3 of our players opt to go directly downstairs.
Yeah, hey. With a hammer, it's an easier trip, yeah.
It's also an easier death warp.
It's true. Especially since you're already here. It's something to be considered. Small magic coming off our hoarder.
Yeah, that's not terrible, but probably not worth farming at this point.
Yeah, and it looks like just a vanilla heart piece at the lumberjack today, so that won't force Aga anyway. And at this point with the hammer, it at least feels unlikely that we're going to be seeing Aga 1.
Yeah, if you see the hammer early, it's probably going to be a hammer, glove, and orb seed. But yeah, we got our first sword.
Yeah, it's about a 230 on that, pretty rad, here in the escape.
So, coming down
probably better than... Oh yeah, definitely a good move. And sword's definitely better than the boomerang you might normally get there.
And a quick 1-2 shot with a hammer brings down this guard to get into Zelda's cell.
Yep.
For big 20.
Oh boy.
So it looks like only Sonicam decided to opt for the death warp.
Interesting.
Now, they didn't find a key downstairs, so it means that if there's a key in this dark room, or if there isn't a key in this dark room, then they can't progress. So,
right.
Unless something is good or a key, it might be a waste of time.
Yeah, obviously wanting to, or hoping rather, to be able to make the play all the way through the escape. As SaltyPhry picks up the cape from Blind's hut.
Another thing helping this dark room is actually that sword he just found.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, you get your sparkles out on the end, and suddenly you know where you are, if you just remember the shape of the room.
And these rooms aren't terribly confusing to go through. The hardest one, I feel, is actually getting to the chest.
In the final room that it's actually in and lining yourself up and everything. Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, and he had a little bit of trouble. I didn't see what he got.
Yeah, it seemed like it wasn't on the, it's one of those things that would hide itself, and he seemed certain of it, so I wonder if it was rupees? But no, he only has the 20 he picked up from the cell.
And that did,
in the well.
That's nice. One thing about open mode is, at least for me, it's a lot easier to remember if you get that bottle early on.
Oh, yeah.
And we get our second sword from the
oh, right,
the
but
bottle
it being the first for Salty, I was wondering why the color was strange, and it was quite all right, it turns out.
Yeah, but in standard mode, if you find a bottle, say, in Link's house, you can forget about it by the time you get to Kakariko.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, with often your first, maybe 4 or 5 items. Oh, Fire Rod, was that out of the chicken hut?
That was in, Blind's basement, I believe.
Oh, I missed it. Gosh.
And the sick kid just gives another bottle with, I believe, a B-Torp in it.
Seems fitting.
Yeah. Although it'd be more like a Link Between Worlds with the guy who's obsessed with bees.
Yeah. Alright. Well, that fire source is going to be welcome early if our runners are able to make their way up to, well, into Desert or Hera. Be able to knock those crystals out quickly, plus minus.
Yeah, we'll have to keep an eye out for. We'll have to keep an eye out for the mids. I guess it's not the lamp; it's the fire rod. Sorry, I'm
it's
having trouble keeping track. 4 players at once, pretty hard.
Right, a lot of action going on, especially now that we're seeing a bit of divergence.
Early Master Sword, they haven't gotten the lamp yet, but if they do, that's going to be a bad sign.
Right.
Because we did see that the Lumberjack itself isn't mandating AGA 1, but something else might.
Right. Yeah, that is only a not positive affirmation on that AGA play. It does not cancel it.
So we get a shovel inside of the dam. That could lead to something good. It's kind of annoying that they found it here.
Right, you're gonna end up probably not checking it until your next save and quit.
And the soggy flippers.
That seems rather fitting, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's a lore-appropriate item.
Alright, so the flipper's at the soggy spot. That's gonna help out with the south routing a bit. You might see play up to the Waterfall of Wishing, and depending on some luck in the mini Moldorm cave here, we may even have the rupees for Zora.
Yeah, you should read the item description to see who lost it.
Probably some relative of the old man with his lamp. The sword, of course, helping out tremendously here in Mini Moldorm Cave.
Yeah, relying on bombs and even the hammer is not that great. And
yeah,
this cave, it doesn't seem particularly hype, except for the big 300.
Yeah, that ends up being just especially opportunistic with the early flipper find.
Yeah.
One of those times where I remind myself that the flippers aren't actually in the logic, but sometimes it sure feels like they are.
So, SaltyPhry is skipping the hobo check and the Hylia Island check and going directly to the Waterfall Ferry here.
Yeah, and this is an interesting play because it's a pretty long walk back from Zora. And so a lot of players usually just save and quit at that point.
Yeah. I don't know. It seems like a pretty big gamble for this early in the game.
Yeah, with the hobo right there, too. And who knows if that information will come into play if, say, Rywek does check it, or in particular if his opponent sonicam does.
So, nothing good on the Zora ledge. Let's see what sort of life lesson we can get today.
Yeah. Maybe it's how to lift. That'd be a
good.
welcome sight.
I mean, that's literally a life lesson.
Yeah. Taking the very cautious approach here, so he can not worry about picking up those 5 rupees. Boy.
Yeah, that's a 1 in 100 return.
Yeah, minus 99%. Oops.
He convinced you that this shiny rock was worth the crappy rocks that you're carrying around in your packet.
Yeah. see green good. Meanwhile, Rywek showing us that island. I kind of missed what it was, but it seemed to match the green of the cucumber man that was there. And a bomb upgrade from Hobo, it looks like.
Yeah, not really worth the time, but I mean, it's going to be out of their mind at this point.
Yeah, peace of mind is all you really pick up there.
SaltyPhry is also going down towards escape, so they'll be getting their Master Sword pretty soon.
Sure will, and I wonder if he ends up feeling rambunctious to get a Dark Agate in this early. It would be an extremely bold and risky play, though.
I wouldn't.
No.
The only time I think Dark Agate is worth it is if you see something really good that isn't necessarily needed yet, but
right.
could help a lot inside of Lumberjack Cave. And you also have the boots.
Right. Yeah, because at this point, when you know the lamp is supposed to be in the logic to make that play, if you haven't gotten the lamp, you don't think about the play, generally.
Yeah. Sometimes I forget I have the lamp until I see that first dark... Or I don't have the lamp until I see that first dark room, and then I'm like, do I really want to do this?
Right. So we got another of our runners going to be disappointed by Zora, as seems to be tradition.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's a big fish. You can't really expect him to follow human morality.
Or even just a system of values, for that matter.
Uh-oh.
No, he likes this one.
SaltyPhry almost missed the item in Zelda's cell there.
Oh, man. And we know it was just the red rupee, but he wouldn't have known and would have wanted to, at some point, go all the way back.
So far, all we're really not seeing is the path towards Eastern, and Eastern itself, and Agina's cave.
Right.
And it looks like Rywek is taking one of those paths right now.
Indeed.
I don't fault any of these runners for skipping Agina at this point.
Yeah, it does seem like one of the more remote checks when you don't have any other motivation to get over there.
One thing I probably would have done before this, though, which I just remembered, is the shovel, which...
Oh, yeah, we've been sitting on a shovel for a bit, and sure enough, Kyong working his way. And it looks like Skull Woods was the green pennant, if I caught that right.
I always miss the map checks, so...
Yeah.
We just get a nice 5 rupees hidden underground. I don't know who went to the trouble of burying that, but...
I think it was Zora. He seems to be into these low-value rupees.
Yeah. I always wondered, like, where rupees come from. Are they naturally occurring? Because they, like, come out of bushes.
Right, like, how do these things just get lost there?
I need more Zelda lore, Nintendo.
Yeah, is it a fiat currency? Is it backed by anything? Is it a commodity? Let's get into this.
What I always wanted to know was if you go to a shop, and even in like Breath of the Wild, where you're just like meeting some traveling person who decides to sell you something, and you have nothing but like a 300 rupee, like big rupee that you just found in a chest. How do you like break that?
Do you have change for silver? I'm sorry, sir. We don't accept big rupees. Do they have like the counterfeit pen? You seen that? You know, they do the 20 if you're. Yeah. I guess that might be a U.S. thing.
Or you can shine it in a light, but I don't
know right, yeah.
Rupees are translucent.
We're getting told from chat that apparently Minish Cap has answers for this. Interestingly enough, Rywek playing his Minish Cap Link Sprite.
And apparently break the 300 rupee with a hammer, which we already have.
Oh. Seems fair. Link can go shopping.
So far, not much in this dungeon.
Yeah, no, Eastern has been a bit of a dud, but let's see if that changes. As we get the big key. right about this. See about this big chest.
They should make the big chests weighted to have important items, I think.
That'd be an interesting variant, at least. And
Yeah,
we've got the power glove.
The power glove, that
Yeah, looks like VTorb implemented it immediately.
That gets us to the backside of escape. It doesn't really get us anywhere else at this point. By the logic, they can go to the mountain.
Right. Yeah, a lot of runners are comfortable with that dark room, just as Rywek is comfortable with this eastern dark room.
I find myself not trying to do that sequence break, even if it's really easy, just because it often doesn't lead anywhere unless you have like the hook shot already.
Oh, for the mountain?
Right.
Yeah. That's understandable. With it, you really get, I guess, a look at one item and the potential to grab two more, unless, as you said, you have the hook shot or like the mirror and hammer.
Also, apparently missed this, but Sonicam got the lamp from Ice Rock Cave.
Oh, being our only runner to make that trip. Okay, yeah.
And
happened to miss the entire run out there.
Yeah.
But all right, that is an excellent find.
So that does open up Death Mountain.
Right, if he as he gets to the big chest here in Eastern Palace as he approaches, then it'll be time to hit the mountain. Not to mention the back of escape, as you said. And some of our runners who didn't brave the dark will probably work their way back if they get that lamp first.
Yeah. See, and I was going to comment, but I lost my train of thought earlier that the early flippers can often be a bit of a trap in that you will be compelled to skip that Ice Rock Cave and go directly to Hobo and then Zora.
Right, yeah, it's a bit of a misdirection there.
So in this case, 3 of our runners have fallen for that trap.
Huh. Trixie Seed.
So yeah, the sequence break to Death Mountain will actually be lucrative if these guys take it, assuming they can handle dark rooms for the rest of the game.
Right. And maybe if Fluke comes up, we'll see our runners eventually get to Ice Rock Cave if they do put it off for quite long. Here we're getting a Moon Pearl.
It's full Dark World access.
Yeah, we are ready to roll.
Might not be seeing the mountain for a while.
Yeah, some of these guys might head right over to the Skullwoods Thieves Town area, especially with what do you call the Fire Rod?
Yeah, I'm a bit more of a fan of checking Hype Cave first, not for the hype, just to clear out that area to, I don't know, lower the urge to drag that chest all the way down there.
Right. No, it's a good move. Especially when, other than that, your path is kind of over towards the Bombos tablet.
And people in chat are sad that Aga is no longer a thing.
Oh, that's alright. We still have plenty of pedestal hopes.
Yeah, that's V26. A control in many ways that are worse than pedestal. Believe me.
Yeah, we're still in for a real treat, and that's all that was there on the that chest in the dark. Apparently, was 10 arrows.
Looks like SaltyPhry is deciding to do the Hype Cave check first, while Rywek is probably might be going to Skullwoods or Village of Outcasts. I mean, those are pretty much the 2 options at this point.
Yeah. Looks like our other pendants were Pod and Swamp, with a 5 at Mire off that map check.
Those pendants scare me.
Yeah, those are tricky, aren't they?
Like, seeing Palace of Darkness or Swamp as pendants always makes me feel a bit worried, just because those dungeons often have a lot of value in them.
Indeed. Gosh, mostly big 20s out of Hype Cave tonight, so gripe and gripe. But yeah, when you got the 5 items in Pod and the 6 in Swamp, along with a green pendant on Skullwoods, which is admittedly a much faster affair, there's some draw to those pendant dungeons immediately.
Looks like Rywek's going for a successful bomb jump right away.
Very nice, and paying off.
That is great. The swamp or Skullwood check in V26 meme is still alive.
Yeah.
It's even stronger.
Skullwood's now with more swag.
So that flute won't really get them anything. It'll get them to the mountain, but at least one of them has that access at this point. They all technically have that access.
If they would just get that lamp and do the dark room, not that. But yeah, at this point, it's if we get another glove, we'll feel like Meyer and all that, plus minus the rest of the items. But Rywek doing that on purpose there, or was Dacto?
I am not too sure.
Yeah.
I don't think it was on purpose.
Oh, and I did not see in a bit of noise on the screen. Apparently, that's a bumper cane.
Interesting. They already have the cape, so...
Yeah, and actually, you can get through that without the hook shot. You've got to walk carefully, though. Mm-hmm. So
that's one of the few things that are... It's like a hint that's on the actual randomizer website that tells you to do that.
Lets you know that you can squeeze around the edge of that hole.
So Kyong, unless he dies as well, will probably be getting his cane.
Right. He's gonna head in and work on that Dacto. Meanwhile, we got the swag duck coming out for Rywek. We'll wait until our player with audio gets the swag duck to do our proper respects. And you'll get a look here about the walking along the top of that cave.
In a minute.
Yeah. And we'll see that it is tricky even for these quite excellent runners. There you go. Sneaks through. Tosses the pots away. Picks up some hearts and magic, knowing quite a bit about this cave.
Yeah, one thing the game is good about is putting resources where you need them.
Right. Hey, you're gonna need magic in a second to use this cane. Or the cape, rather.
One thing I've always been a bit confused about is in Ice Palace, why there's no like full magic drop right before Cold Stare.
Right. Oh man, and all the digs there for just a piece of heart. Down on sonicams.
Blame Vitor for that, but blame Vitor for anything.
Alright. It's got a little bit of Village of Outcast action going on for our top two. Salty's going to be picking up his flute in just a moment.
I assume we'll be seeing Thieves Town here in a second.
It would look like it.
Green Mail and 9 hearts or 8 on Rywek's side. Not terrible for Thieves Town. Plus they have the cape for like the worst room in the game.
Right. Be able to go right up that hellway without much concern. And that might even just come into play with our blind fight, depending on the luck.
We got a nice sync going on, and the
synchronized bow. That's pretty nice.
That's the first time I've seen a synchronized item, like a major item, pick up.
That's pretty nice. And there goes a second item right out of Thieves Town. Wow, you don't see two on the front like that very often.
Interesting that like the top 2 are in the same dungeon, the bottom 2 are in the same dungeon.
Yeah, both these guys proving they're quite fit for their respective opponents. I say both, but both of these matchups, I guess that's what I mean. The Blue Mail. Wow, 3 of our 4 items right off the bat, and of course, this actually being a vanilla big key then.
And getting that Blue Mails is really nice.
Yeah, it helps out with the lasers in this blind fight that's going to be coming up.
Yeah, and also the Patrick Stars and the anti-fairies and everything else.
Right.
And also the crickets. Those are the worst.
Oh, I know. They seem so innocent, but doing 2 hearts of damage to a green male.
I can never tell if they're lizards or insects.
I want to say I looked it up, and they're supposed to be grasshoppers. But they're not called grasshoppers, they're called something else that I can't remember.
See, the cape here, although Kyong doesn't have much magic, sadly,
Right.
doesn't seem to be having much trouble getting through it.
Nah, patience pays off there.
Rywek is not having...
I was gonna say. Alright, and Salty coming back for that cane. Just as sonicam is going for it himself.
Yep. Through slightly better execution and better luck, Kyong has pulled ahead.
Indeed.
Like a nice room lead.
Yeah, now it looks like through similar circumstances, sonicam is going to be kind of doing a little better off, and that they'll be still in Dark World if they wish to stay. A clever bit of cape usage there to make sure the Dacto just goes right through on the drop.
Yeah, the cape is it's an underrated item, I would say. Even at especially at this level of play, a lot of players like to not use it because they don't want to waste item menu time.
Right. Well, one of the finer points of rando execution is, of course, being able to use the kit you have at any moment in the race to its best advantage. So when you've got big, mean enemies like the Dactos, and they, they're worth a bit of time. And I guess for this, it was he had already done the menuing, so just another thing in the another thing in favor. And apparently, those grasshoppers are called Buzz, according to Sim57. Thanks for that lookup.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I look up the enemy names every once in a while, and then I immediately forget them.
Yeah, it's like every time I do a big lookup, I remember one more of them. I think my most recent one was those dragon dudes in Thieves Town are called Zazax or Zazax. Right. Yeah.
So, Rywek's onto the blind fight here.
Indeed.
Let's see if it goes pretty smoothly. I mean, you probably heard this a million times, but, blind is not that difficult if you're consistent.
Right.
A lot of other bosses are dependent on RNG or really tight execution, and blind is mostly just hitting him in a rhythm.
Right, yeah, he in fact has a script on his first go. Speaking of first, at just under 28 minutes, we've got our first crystal of the match, followed very closely by the first for another runner. Our top matchup.
Yep, and sonicam is also going to be going through and getting his blue mail as well. I don't think there was anything else in Thieves Town, was there?
No, they got all 4 of them. That was a rather front-loaded Thieves Town, unusual to see, and quite beneficial between the bow and the blue mail.
Oh, the bow, right. Yeah, that was also in there. Don't want to forget about that.
And I didn't catch what was in the bomb room, I just know that it was actually an item. And then there was an arrow upgrade at an early point in the run, or, well, the dungeon. Alright, and so Rywek gonna do what our 3 other runners have already done in picking up his cane.
Yeah, it's pretty useful. I think it's mostly useful if you don't have a sword.
Oh, especially.
Even earlier today, I had to do blind with the cane. I mean, I had the hammer, but the cane is even better.
Right, it gives you a bit of, keeps a bit of distance between you and him, where that hammer does quite the opposite.
You can even, place a block where his head is gonna spawn in between phases.
Oh, yeah,
he gets the first hit in, and then you just explode it, and then he gets hit by the fireball.
Right, yeah. So
it looks like none of our runners now are treading new ground, at least when we're considering all 4 players at once.
Right. No new information coming to us, but with this current loadout, where can we get to?
Looks like Palace of Darkness, that nice, juicy pendant dungeon.
Oh yeah, and probably only sonicam thinking about that all that much with his lamp. Oh,
that is true. Nobody else has found their lamp yet. So everybody has their flute. So I think once you get the flute, Ice Rod Cave is a pretty no-brainer check, unless you've forgotten about it at that point.
Right. Yeah, at the next convenient save quit, we may see our runners take that one.
Although, I believe only one of them so far is activated, is that correct?
I think so. I think, the way the paths led us, they were in Skull Woods, and so they were like, well, there's plenty of village of outcasts to check. And so, yeah, I guess it'll be save and quit, Sanctuary, go activate Flute, and then start putting to use.
Right. I think Rywek might have been the only one to activate it. Everybody else, I believe, is going to finish Thieves Town and probably hit up that South Dark Loop like Kyong is doing right now. It looks like Kyong is going directly towards Palace of Darkness. Now, whether or not they decide to just do the pyramid and maybe catfish, or go in Palace of Darkness proper is a different story.
Right. And Rywek couldn't make his way past our trash bag monster here. And finds another big 20 here on the pyramid. And chat's telling us Salty is activated on this flute as well.
Yeah, sadly you can't use it in the Dark World, at least until there's a cutscene that dictates it.
That's always fun seeing the credits in a fluteless seed. Number of times fluted, 1.
They do have an actual number for that?
They do.
Sonicam
taking down Blind here.
SaltyPhry not too far behind. Kyong is actually going to be going into Palace of Darkness, which I don't think is a bad move. I could see any of these runners skipping Palace of Darkness at this point. For
definitely.
2 reasons. Because 1, it's a pendant, and 2, no mirror.
Right. It'd be real nice just to get over to Eastern Palace right after this in a little bit easier way.
Mm-hmm. That and Rando is a cruel mistress. There's it does not care about your mirrors when it generates the items in Palace of Darkness.
Right. Oh yeah, also the mirror, of course, being useful there to get rid of backtracking. And I was just thinking of the combo play from the overworld.
Oh no, that's a double whammy.
Yeah. It's interesting that a mirror would be so useful in the dark, and that looks like an ice rod to me.
That is an ice rod, so that is all of the rods in the game. I would say probably the second best rod in the game.
It's in the top 2.
Yeah, top 2 rods of the game.
Yeah. Definitely perfect 5 out of 7.
So Palace of Darkness is also bow locked, so they had to pick up
right? Yeah, having the
enter here. Well, to enter here to get anywhere past that first room.
Yeah, interesting.
So I guess at this point we could start, pontificating on what could be at our pedestal.
Right now, I think we're at medallions and boots. Hook shot, I guess, technically, because Swamp's only a pendant.
Hook shots.
Or no, that's the reason it can't. I apologize.
Oh, yeah, no.
I mixed that one up. Yeah.
Boots and medallions. That's
I think
about it.
Yeah, you get the Paradox book. Which, I guess, if you had then one of those other items on a tablet, that's something.
Oh yeah, the book, could that lead to anything interesting? I guess.
Yeah, if we read a tablet for something else, like say we had a Vanilla Bombos to get into Turtle Rock.
I just had a thought.
Yeah.
Well, Recitador just said it as well. Mitts.
Yeah.
That would be a pretty spicy pedestal meme, if I do say so myself.
It really would. And yeah, that is a yeah, we got mitts, we got boots, we got the book to lead to one of the medallions, which could also be eligible for that. I guess the mirror could be there, but then it's not totally useful because it only really gets you into, or no, it can't be. Again, I'm flipping the script. Sorry. Need that for Swamp.
So in a 1 out of let's see, 1 out of Swag Duck, what is the pedestal height quotient for the seed?
Let's see.
I would think maybe a bootless seed out of that range.
Right. Now you'll have to clarify for me. Is bootless? I'm not a big fan of that. So you're thinking there's not much chance for pedestal, or?
Yeah, that's pretty not hype.
Yeah. Although to see a book to lead to something would be very interesting, because of course you can't check for book.
So I don't know if you saw that, but we just found one of our items we're looking for in Palace of Darkness. Pendant Palace of Darkness, I might add. The hookshot.
Oh, so we did. Huh. And I did in fact miss it looking at the other runners. Alright, so we got the boing.
Yep, that opens up East Death Mountain for us.
It sure does, yeah. And we'll probably see some plays there as soon as our runners return to the light world. Noticing now that looks like Sonicam is already up on the mountain, while Salty has chosen Eastern.
Oh yeah, Frozen XYZ brings up a point. If it's a bootless seed, but the big key in Gideon's Tower is on the torch, I think the height potential goes through the roof.
Right.
So maybe it is, like, it's closer to Swag Duck than 1.
Yeah.
Yep, the hookshot also opens up the arduous path towards Hera.
It truly does, with also having the hammer.
It's less arduous in the sense that East Death Mountain is kind of loaded, especially if they can find the mitts along the way.
Right. Yeah, they can... Oh, there's the book. Alright, hype index dropping. Eastern Palace Armos. Apparently like to read.
That is interesting, because that does get them into desert.
It really does, yeah.
I forget
kind of
what
in a funny order there.
I forget what the percentage chance is for a... Ooh! Look at that! Sorry.
Oh, I missed it. What was it?
There is a mirror on the desert ledge.
Interesting.
So, SaltyPhry getting the dividends right now.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, they'll have to go into Palace of Darkness at some point, but Mirror is a great find for that.
Right, and Sonicam picking up that Tempered Sword out of Spectral Rock and now lining up a bomb jump to get going.
Sonicam the first player to make it to the mountain?
I believe so.
Cool. We got Half Magic inside Desert, and it looks
Very
like
nice.
it's boot blocked.
Ooh.
But
with a one of the keys there, I guess. Interesting.
And so SaltyPhry is about to pick up their mirror, and I would be surprised if they don't make their way towards Pod soon.
And get your swag ducks in the chat.
All rise.
All rise.
It's already over.
Yeah, that's all right. We do have that mirror pickup from Salty, and I think that's pretty hype because, as you say, he's going to get over to Pod and start really working on the seed as Sonicam gets a mushroom out of Spike Cave. The suspense. And we're finally getting that Agena check for SaltyPhry.
Yeah, I'm not too hyped for this, just because from what we've seen so far, like there's so few items this could be. and it's just a big 20.
Indeed, it seems that is the correct attitude to have about this play for the most part. And in fact, I often see runners will eschew this to go to AGA, even if they've got it down to the 2.
Sonicam is picking up nothing.
Oh, green ruby. He releases the bee on her.
It must have been a really bad mushroom, like I don't know.
Yeah.
This is your common toadstool.
See, I can't pay for this. It's poisonous. He goes, you have to give me something. Alright. Literally the least valuable item I can give you.
So Sonicam sees the item on the ledge, but doesn't have the book yet.
Oh man.
So
that's going to lead to a bit of a work back for him.
Yes. But Sonicam also can head over to Pod, finish that, or probably do Eastern first, would be my bet. Because he can't, warp back. And
right.
He knows where the mirror is, so it's not like he can gamble on it being in Pod.
Right. He'll probably be a bit frustrated to find the book there. But at least he'll know that mirror is attainable after that.
Yeah.
Ooh, and Bombos on the Hylia Island. Or the Hylia, that's the Death Mountain Island.
I don't know. It's Hyrule. Everything is named like Hylia, so.
Yeah. Mount Hylia, that's what it's called now. No.
That's something I always wondered. Like, if all the games are in Hyrule, why does the landscape change so much? Like it changes.
Super active plate tectonic. It's crazy.
Yeah. Like it changes constantly. Like entire locations will move halfway across the map, or like the place will get gigantic in a span of like 2 minutes.
Right.
200,000 years, or however long it takes between games. But Sonicam.
Oh, go ahead.
Sonicam is making the play to get that literacy.
Right, yeah, gonna pick that up, and then it'll be interesting to see if puts the flute to work to get back over to 6, or
I would be
just heads down to 5.
I would be very surprised if Sonicam does not go directly into the desert.
Yeah, the mirror, obviously, as we pointed out earlier, being hugely beneficial in Pod.
The only thing about the mirror, now that I think about it, is that you don't need it in a seed, or at least like you don't need it to get all the crystals.
Right, it's definitely
like de facto.
On the face of it, just appears to be a luxury item.
Right.
All right, we've got all sorts of different action going on.
Yeah, we got Rywek and Hera now.
Right, and getting an ether tablet check from SaltyPhry just next door.
In the midst.
Midst.
SaltyPhry is getting all of the value. Like the second SaltyPhry decides to go into Palace of Darkness, I think that's gonna put him on a path to victory.
Yeah, it seems like just definitely things are just tilted to the lower left right now. But gotta love the bit of baseball humor there as he catches the golden glove.
Very ironic.
Yeah.
3 of our runners in Hera right now, which is interesting.
Yeah. Getting the idea that that's the play based on a kit they got. And it is a crystal, so that's not so bad. Oh, Rywek just barely hanging on. Meanwhile, Armos are down for Sonicam.
Got a bit of a sync going on between the left runners.
Oh yeah, check that out. One of them stopping to hit the switch.
Is it really a sync if they're not racing each other? I don't know. We need to ask Feasible for the official word.
Yeah. Either way, entertaining. Call it a tub.
I get it.
Yeah. All right. Everybody's second favorite tile room.
Second favorite? I don't know.
I think GT holds the most hype opportunity.
True, but as a player, it's nice to have a nice bathroom break or
This is true.
place to, request someone to join my professional network on LinkedIn.
So many things more important in life than this tile room.
You could play another seed while you're in this tile room.
Yeah.
It's like the hyperbolic tile chamber.
And the sink crystal on the left. Gotta love that. Yeah, we get a discount for doing the boss fights in bulk, so,
That's how we can afford four-person races.
Yeah, we're required to have at least a cumulative 5 minutes of sync. As you do call it, Sonicam wants that mirror, and as you said, it's a smart play. Gonna take it to pod and put it to work. Rywek has to double take his luck. A 45 minutes about Temper Sword really aids the rest of this run for him. He's got some crystals to earn yet.
Yeah, I don't think I'd ever pass up on Tempered Sword.
Oh no, definitely not. And we've seen a couple of races where it's been actually a bit out of the way, but of course the impact it has, even just on the Ganon fight alone, with or without the silvers, it's a must get.
Right. So, one thing I was thinking about is people are always trying to figure out like really trolly ways for sword upgrades to happen.
Right.
And I think one of them is to have the Master Sword or Sword upgrade in Lumberjack, and the book in Ganon's Tower, and both of the tablets leading to
more.
So anybody who thinks that they're getting away from doing AGA 1 at that point,
right,
it has got another thing coming. That would be what, like a 145 AGA 1?
Right. Oh man. So we're gonna get a Turtle Rock.
Yeah. Rywek is making their way to Eastern, so they're going to become literate soon enough.
Indeed.
The early Palace of Darkness, or not, the early Turtle Rock is not going to pay off here, though. I mean, it might. There might be an item in there.
Right.
But we already know.
Just opening it for now.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Indeed.
okay.
Yeah. Not bad. It'll save a bit of time later.
Yeah.
And opening that too, even just getting things prepped and ready to go.
I don't know. I think that's another strategic bathroom break or MySpace check.
Oh, I can just use a medallion here. That should be fine. Bugnet. Big gains for SaltyPhry continue. Although, to be fair, with 3 bottles, that actually is pretty nice. Just need the powder, and you've pretty much got your safety kit.
Speaking of, nobody's uncovered powder yet. Which is not strictly required unless it is, but
right.
It's also a very nice safety. Probably the best safety in the game.
For sure. Most of our dungeons have the bubbles in them that you can sprinkle and turn them into the fairies.
What's interesting about it is the number of anti-fairies or bubbles increases in dungeons, which theoretically makes them easier as the dungeons get harder.
Yeah, especially like Turtle Rock having those 4s like a trap, but they're set up in such a way that if you just kind of stop and take it in, you can just get all 4 of them in one throw.
Mm-hmm. So SaltyPhry, the first one to get Bombos.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's required yet. Nobody has visited the mire area yet, have they?
That is correct. But we do have mitts for both players down bottom, so we may see that check come very soon.
Yeah, it's interesting that the players have the same advantages, like top to bottom.
Right.
Yeah, so we have like hookshot, and ice rod on top, and we have the book and mirror on the bottom, and mitts.
Right. Yeah, and mitts. And still just one lamp. A lonely.
I am very surprised nobody has gone to that ice rod cave yet.
Yeah, it's one of those ones. I'm no speedrunner by any stretch, but when I'm playing a rando, in my mind, one of the chief thoughts is to not forget something that's just a single, because I don't want to have it end up being important. Getting mentioned in chat, apparently the item I missed at Spiral Cave was silvers.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I didn't even notice either.
And each of these runners are 2 in 1. To answer a chat question.
Yep. So the thing about like missing items is, I know even like Ben said he uses like a spreadsheet that tells him where items are. I don't know if he like updates it somehow,
right,
while he's running, but I always fly. Like I always go commando in these runs. Like I fly without any aids. I just use the force and try to remember everything. Which is probably why I'm 1 and 2.
Hey, I'll tell you what. I mean, if you're more comfortable with it, I mean, having to manage a whole separate piece of software, even just a notepad, can kind of break your flow. We're gonna get the mirror dodge here, maybe, to get around. Oh no, toughen it through the Lionels. As we're getting a Skull Woods check out of Kyong, well, the back of it at least.
And SaltyPhry is going towards Spike Cave.
Right, and that had our mushroom.
Did it?
Yes.
I must have missed 2 Spike Cave checks at this point.
That's alright. I missed the second one until he got to the chest. But yeah. Not a lot to keep track of here.
So, with the Tempered Sword and Fire Rod, I mean, you have to have Fire Rod at this point.
Right.
Skullwoods is not that difficult.
I agree with you there. This Mothula fight, of course, is always a real dice roll.
Yeah, I see good players do things in this fight that I could only dream of, and I don't know how. Do they whisper things, like sweet nothings to Mothula to get it to come away from the spikes and towards them?
Right, yeah, because look at that. Like, that looked like Mothula barely got started and just was suddenly in flames. An absolutely fantastic fight from Kyong. Wow.
Looks like Sonicam is also deciding to at least open up Turtle Rock.
Yeah, and again, being on the bottom, not having the ice rod, isn't going to feel too keen about getting in there. I tell you what, though, if in his situation, if otherwise I have the ice rod, I think it's a go. 5 items, you're right there.
Yeah, I think it's hard to pass up. Especially, I don't know, at this point, there's so many places you can check, and Turtle Rock itself, like, it's kind of been open for a while, by the logic.
Right.
But Sonicam is also deciding... Sonicam didn't even bother to open it, just using the portal to get into these to the Super Bunny Cave here.
Interesting.
Which I don't disagree with.
Getting his bug net while we get some mire action from SaltyPhry. Apparently it's ether for mire, which makes that Bombos nice, but certainly not required.
It's good if they want to save magic on Cold Stare, but
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
with half magic at this point, I wouldn't be. I don't think they'd need it, especially with that tempered.
And nobody with hookshot going to hookshot cave yet.
That is interesting.
Oh man, we're seeing the swamp play from Rywek.
Well, the reason I guess they didn't go to Hookshot Cave was because they couldn't. Like they don't have the mitts.
This is true.
I mean, little does Rywek know where mitts are, and
Right.
they can get them, and Kyong will as well soon.
Right. Yeah, that was one of the things I noticed. He's got that book and has not gotten to those tablets, and I'm trying to remember if that's simply just as a matter of ordering, or if he had actually passed it up.
We're also getting a nice Bombos usage. And a clutch full magic refill, although with half magic is not that important.
Alright. Sonicam, braving the rock, gets powder. Our players are all over the place.
So powder could lead to boots.
It could. We could have bat boots.
Skullwoods, not Skullwoods, Swamp Palace, which I don't know why I mess them up all the time, but Swamp Palace.
The SW thing.
Yeah, Swamp Palace is an interesting play.
I mean, 6 items, so that's a thing. They've
had to unlock so many things to get there. Like the mirror was blocked by the book. I wouldn't be surprised if there's not much value in here right now, but it's not impossible.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's any, I mean, I think the big thing is obviously you gotta get those mitts off of Ether. Because then you can make the play as Salty is, as Sonicam is.
It is interesting that it seems like going into Palace of Darkness, while obviously necessary, it's kind of trolled both of our top runners.
Right, yeah.
Because they couldn't have gotten the mitts when they went there. Oh, wait. Did Rywek flood the key? Oh no!
I suppose he did. He must have.
That is way too easy to do, I must say.
Man, yeah, that's a bummer. That's a large amount of time.
I think that's why some people prefer to avoid the left side of Swamp Palace. It's not because it's slow. It's because they flooded the key too many times.
Right, yeah, it's a mental weight that someone doesn't have to,
But doing something like that does not feel good, especially if you're in a race. Like, if I did that in a casual seed, like just by myself, I would just close the emulator. Just hit the X button.
Right.
I'm done. Just looking at the spoiler log now.
Right. Not catching much out of Ice Palace as far as I can tell. But Kane O'Brien is now there.
We got the top 2 Kane.
Yeah, top 2 Kane. The developers of Link to the Past like red a lot better than blue. We see it in the Kane, the Rod, the better male. Although, some would argue they made the switch on the boomerangs.
Yeah. Which is weird, because in comparison to the first Zelda, I believe everything everything blue was better. Did I have that wrong? Blue Dark Nuts, I know. or better.
Right. Oh,
And
there
the
was
blue can. Oh, it is true. The red sword is better than the blue sword in this game.
Interesting. Yeah, I hadn't even considered that one. And yellow
red,
being best of all, apparently.
The red orb is definitely better than the blue orb, I would say.
Yeah. We dislike the blue balls on Aghanim. We got the red rupee is worth more than the blue rupee. Man, this game is just rough. On the folks who like blue. Yeah, red shield better than blue shield. All sorts of stuff. Although, to be fair, the red berries are way more annoying than the blue berries, but I guess that's to say they're stronger or more formidable.
And the red berry is better than the blueberries.
But blue potion is better than red potion in this case.
I think the jury's still out on this one. But SaltyPhry has made his way down the cold stair.
Yeah, yeah.
And with that half magic and tempered sword, it is not hard.
Yeah, no, look at him go. Wow. Just toasting him up. Meanwhile, gold sword in Swamp Palace.
Looks like
Yeah, he made it to the laser bridge, and
yeah,
I was gonna say I don't see anything new on the the red rang, I guess.
Another top 2 item. Top 2
right.
boomerang.
Yeah. Just want to point out, VTorp is correct. The blue flippers are better than the red ones. Namely, they exist.
Well, they're blue boots, kind of.
I guess it's true. Huh. In which case, I don't know. I mean, I might rather have the boots, depending on my crystal layout.
So yeah, pretty much all we're looking for now is the boots, right?
Yeah, because we got a boots-locked Desert Palace.
I mean, across all 4 runners, each runner has their own items that they're lacking at this point.
Right, but we do have the information on each of them. Namely, the hookshot is in pod, the ice rod is in pod, the lamp is in Ice Rod Cave.
Yep.
And
although I don't see any of these runners holding their breath for the lamp at this point.
Right.
One thing that would be helpful for dark rooms is if they had a better shields, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen.
Yeah. And I'm sure they'll be plenty comfortable with that. It'll be interesting to see how many of our runners end up with the gold sword. We're getting a pedestal check.
And it's hold more arrows, a better quiver.
Womp.
Womp womp. Pedestal hype deflated.
Yeah, we're down to a solid fighter sword Vitreous out of Swag Duck.
I must have missed when Rywek got the butter sword.
That was there in the big key chest in Swamp. Like the one on the far left.
Okay.
Or rather, the far reaches of the left side. And it does put Argus down quite easy.
So yeah, boots not being inside any of the dungeons we've seen so far is pretty interesting. It could be in Mire at this point, I guess, or somewhere in the overworld what we haven't seen.
Yeah, we do have that powder now for sonicam. I wonder if maybe you called it earlier with a bat boot.
Maybe. Has anybody checked all of the mirror locations at this point?
I think we haven't seen Grove. Actually, I don't think we've seen really many of them. I don't think we've seen Graveyard Ledge either. Or like King's Tomb is sort of ones if you don't have the mitts.
Yeah, you also can't get it.
Oh, no boots. Right. I'm so used to seeing runners do the sideways thing and that I kind of disassociated the bong.
It'd be nice if that worked without boots, but sadly,
yeah, it does. Much like hovering, it doesn't work without boots.
There's also, I don't think I've seen any of these runners so far go towards the Jeremiah, the Bullfrog man.
Right, SaltyPhry just turning it in now. And another big 20.
Yeah, we have what are they called? The counterfeiters now?
Oh yeah, they are. Also, they're using the hammers on the rupees, like chat was talking about earlier.
Also, we have a question in chat. What record are these runners? All of them are currently 2-1 in the Swiss tournament. And just to, I guess, inform anybody who doesn't know, the Swiss tournament, or the Swiss portion of this tournament, is 6 rounds, and the people who have a record of 4-2 advance automatically. People who have a record of 3-3 will get to play in a wildcard race, and I believe that's going to be, what, like 32 players in one race to determine the final 6 spots?
Right, something along those lines. It's going to be quite exciting.
And some of our runners have already qualified. El Magus qualified, I believe, earlier today.
He did, and congrats to him. One of our commentators, along with being a runner.
Yep, as well as Amazing Ampharos.
I'm not surprised.
TGH, Kyle, and Tear.
Of course, Tear being a tracker bot.
Apparently somebody already turned in the lunchbox, which I must have missed somehow. So now we're seeing the south of the Haunted Grove cave at SaltyPhry.
Right. And I want to say Rywek had just passed it up himself. Kind of routing that interestingly, having not done the frog first. Yeah, we got our runners all over the place as Kyong's going to check the Bombos tablet. Will we have 2 baller tablets?
Let's see. Nah.
Cash money, but completely superfluous at this point.
Money from the gods. So, what does that leave us at this point?
Well...
I mean, we've seen every dungeon, I think?
Except for Meyer, yeah. Must be a Boots and Meyer, although, well, we need it for the crystal, so...
2 of these runners still need to run into Palace of Darkness to get their Meyer access. And 2 of these runners need to run to the mountain to get their Meyer access.
So yeah, each of these runners having a unique way to be out of options there. I'm calling Boots on Trinex.
Yeah.
Farame, I think is how he likes it pronounced. My apologies.
I was wondering, like, why none of them went to Meyer yet. And it's because they can't.
Yeah. Oh, and we do finally get another lamp in the bottom race. Right after Rywek picking it up at the top.
Finally. Interesting that one player has had the lamp for about, let's see, an hour. and 2 of them got it within, like, a minute.
Right, and we're getting our second pedestal check.
Where is SaltyPhry?
Not that it changes the contents, but...
He
may be thinking TR. Although this isn't really the way to get there. Huh. Well, I guess you could mirror and run across the top.
Yeah, it is an interesting route, although maybe SaltyPhry hadn't checked Spike Cave. I literally cannot keep track of who did what at this point.
I believe he did make one. Meanwhile, Rywek's gonna go work on the Helmsar King, having made the trip in here earlier.
It's That's not bad. This isn't green pendant though.
It is not.
Has anybody talked to Sarsaparilla lately?
I had chat saying somebody turned it in, but I'm not sure. We do have our top left and our bottom right with the green pendant, but I did not see the turn in. But I'm guessing the play here was Rywek only just getting his lamp, and so he wants to go do the basement of pod now. I guess counting that there must be something on Helmassar.
So we're going to be seeing above the King's Grave, but I believe other people have checked that at this point.
I'm not sure. So it's going to be news to me in either case. Salty getting his powder. We'll see if he's thinking about doing a bat check. We're likely to see it from sonicam here as he's turning in the frog.
Mm-hmm. And just a little bit of love in the graveyard ledge. Somebody probably left part of their heart there before they died, and that was probably the reason they died.
Yeah, pro tip. Keep your heart in one piece.
SaltyPhry also being forced to do the slow strat in this room because they never bothered to go to Palace of Darkness to get their hookshot.
Yeah, it's always a bit of a grating sensation there.
It is interesting.
Catfish check from Kyong.
It is interesting to see 4 players that have been hamstrung in vastly different ways.
Yeah, and like as you pointed out earlier, the funny thing being they're all locked out of Mire for different reasons. All right, we're getting our bat check.
Mm-hmm. And SaltyPhry is going to be in the same boat as sonicam. Not being able to actually complete Turtle Rock because neither of them decided to set foot in that dirty pendant dungeon.
Right. And just a big 20 off the bat, so... You know, just a billionaire playboy philanthropist giving away his money.
No more bat boots.
No more bat boots. Bat boots are dead boots.
I don't know if Batman has special boots, or if they're just like normal boots painted black.
Batman, I made you these shoes.
Is that your Morgan Freeman impression?
That's the best I can do tonight.
Okay. That's who we need as a commentator one day.
Got Rywek working on the Helmassar King.
Is that like the
red pendant?
That's like the Shawshank Redemption. Morgan Freeman.
Right. The Batman saying, "I don't give a."
Kyong picking up those mitts. So
very good.
Kyong can now. I guess Kyong is gonna fall to memes and go into Turtle Rock.
Yeah.
They'll be able to complete it, so maybe, just maybe, we'll see boots in there.
And to answer J Dilton chat, nobody can actually get there yet. Everybody is missing something. Well, I mean, actually, I guess they picked up the things slowly to kind of get them there.
Having a little bit of difficulty on my end to see. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, there you go.
Buffering.
Yeah. Chat pointing out a thing that I decided I could adapt to Spike Cave. Rywek crawled through 3 miles to a river of spikes. With just his cape and his sword. But anywho, this run here, we're getting an actual legitimate hookshot cave check. Oh boy.
The first one.
Boots! Boots in the bunk chest!
Dang.
I love it. The bonk chest was hook locked. I mean, it kind of usually is.
Yeah. That is interesting. That is, let me see. Let me crunch the numbers here real quick. I believe that is like go mode.
Oh. Well, there it is. Yeah, go mode, gold sword, silvers.
Lampless, but I don't think any of these runners are going to have trouble with it.
Yeah, we got a go Kyong. He's gonna go straight to that dungeon that was kept from him, Meyer. And hey, without the lamp too, so this is gonna be interesting.
Yeah, and only the Fisher-Price shield. The fire shield is the one that you really want here.
Yeah, there are a lot of the fireball shooters in this dungeon.
Especially in the first dark room, which is easily the hardest.
Oh man, and Rywek showing a bit of doubt here. Wondering what in the heck was in Lumberjack, assuming he had been here earlier.
Yeah, unfortunately, Rywek either seems to have forgotten about or really doesn't want to make the trek up to Death Mountain again.
Right. Yeah, he's got to get to his ether tablet to get those mitts. And then to the hookshot cave to get those boots. And those mitts actually blocking those boots.
Yep, mitts and hookshot. SaltyPhry, I don't think that's gonna help.
Well, hopefully you got that safety door.
Ooh, don't pull a ruble and
and throw yourself under the bus like that?
Yeah.
No?
it looks like SaltyPhry
oh no
is giving up, throwing in the towel right now.
Oh man.
I mean, can't
well, I guess, you know what, that was the last one. That's I was thinking he had the ice rod. I'm like, oh gosh, he wants to go to Trinex to walk all the way back, but he can't even do it.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll call it a death warp. Because that's pretty much what it was.
A dirty death warp.
Yep.
So, sonicam looks like they're going to be making their way to Palace of Darkness, and so is SaltyPhry at the same time. They've been making very similar decisions.
It's very interesting.
This whole time. And Salty has a bit of an advantage by taking that, the Flute 5 spot.
Right. Huh. Yeah, I wonder what the differential is on taking the warp and the flute screen and all that there. I think that probably still nets him faster if he did the warp.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, but sonicam wanting her out in a pyramid check, I see. I was forgetting who had done what there.
So, Kyong found the big key in Misery Mire.
Alright.
Just gonna make their way directly to a puddle of ooze and eyes.
Indeed. Slightly different from ooze and ahs.
Yeah. Well, it's like an old-timey one. Instead of like, they're saying I, like they're agreeing.
I dig it, I dig it.
It's really the most agreeable and easily excitable boss in the game.
I mean, he's like jumping up and down to see you. Really an electric personality on that Vitreous.
Really, you enter that room and all eyes are on you.
And the real center of attention there. Oh man.
So Kyong getting a good setup there for that dark room.
Yeah. That's a toughie. All right, we're in the spike trap room with the various rows of well, I guess the little hallways and the blockage.
Oh goodness, the puns have started in chat.
Yeah.
So Rywek still doesn't really does not want to go to the mountain, unfortunately.
Yeah, and that's really all he has left to do to get this thing into go mode. It's a shame.
Well, that and just the hookshot cave, which, I mean, it's a no-brainer at that point.
Right, yeah, that's what I mean. It's like that's where he's got to go.
So Silvers are taking down Vitreous with no trouble at all.
Of course. And just unloading, open fire. And we'll see him use his mirror here and route right into the desert for sure.
Rywek is... At this point, I feel like Rywek forgot that he didn't check the ether tablet.
Yeah.
Entering Pendant Skull Woods for that meaty double whammy of green pendant and pedestal check is, I don't know. It's good, but what's also good is having mitts.
Yeah, and he even forgot to bring a key there, so he's putting a little bit extra time into this. It's a shame, but these things happen when you're getting frustrated in a race.
So Kyong doing the quick desert here, it's not going to be much trouble at all. Although the big key had to be a diva and be all the way over here.
Yeah, perhaps in its vanilla location even. Although he's hoping not to have to run all the way down the cannonball. But I'll have to.
Yep, we got a vanilla. I think those are vanilla bombs too, if I'm not mistaken.
Alright, he warps right on out. Doesn't need to worry about the big chest having gotten both items. And into the back. Not that he needs any more items, but yeah.
Our bottom two runners are steadily making their way through Palace of Darkness. They won't be in go mode by the time they leave here, but they'll be in, like... They have a very good idea of what they should do next, immediately, right after leaving Palace of Darkness, please mode.
Right. Yeah, get back up on the mountain. Use that hook shot.
No, it's true, the bug net is still missing. Cannot be go mode, cannot kill Aghanim.
Hashtag not my go mode. Yeah, we'll see if Sonic and Salty both get their way up to the mountain at this point. The Lambos are about to taste the gold sword.
Salty
combo. I dig that strat.
Yeah. Landmo's it's easy to forget that Landmos were designed to be fought with a level 1 sword and a bow. So,
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
you could have the ice rod at that point. You don't have it in, like, NMG runs.
Right. And even so, it is a bit more difficult to get their shots in with the ice than it is with fire. And the burrito from that boss fight covered with guacamole.
So SaltyPhry, instead of going to the mountain, opted to go to Mire, which I guess is a good idea. It's a dungeon, you can complete it. It's not going to contain what you need, but you can complete it. And the big key in here was pretty early on. It didn't.
Yeah.
There was no trolling involved.
It is a shame that it means he may end up checking all the way to the vanilla big key spot.
Yeah.
That'll be some time investment, but we still have yet to see what his opponent sonicam is going to do with the situation, and it may end up coming out as a wash.
Yeah, honestly, I wasn't even thinking of Mire when I was saying, go to the mountain, but Mire is open.
It's definitely a play.
I have that.
Yeah.
Like, it's wide open.
Finally open. I'm sure our runners noticed about the same time that we did that. We have it was one item short for all of them to get to Meyer, and they're like, well, I just want to do Meyer. I got the king. Can I do Meyer? But
the only problem is that the boots aren't there, and they're gonna have to leave the mountain anyway.
Right. Yeah, because you need those boots to get back and finish Desert Palace, and so Kyong managing to get the optimal routing of those two dungeons.
Rywek really does not want that ether tablet, which is
it's a shame.
Unfortunate. And he was even just in Spike Cave, at least according to chat.
No, he was. Oh man, I didn't even put that together while he was up there. Oh.
And that's the thing,
rough.
like, Spike Cave is really easy to forget until you, or at least to put on the back burner until you decide to get the ability to get to and claim your ether tablet reward.
Right.
Through the mirror, or maybe even just taking the long way. So doing the Spike Cave first, realizing, oh wait, I need to leave here somehow, and that's not happening.
Right.
And it really precludes it. But looks like Rywek finally is going towards Turtle Rock.
Right.
Wait, where is Rywek going?
Might be going this way to it. Just across the bridge.
Ooh, Spiral Cave. That's
true. He needs those silvers. Meanwhile, Cold Stare fighting going on here with the gold sword. That's just going to be too easy.
Yeah, that's a hard thing to die to.
And our fourth bottle.
I believe, was that a B-Torp?
It seemed to be. No pun intended, but you can take it if you like.
Yeah, Rywek opting to do Spiral Cave, which, I mean, it's going to net the silvers, but it's not going to save this run.
Yeah, at this point,
Or
with
this
his
race.
opponent down to his last crystal in an optimally routed Turtle Rock. It's, this one's a far cry from close, unfortunately. Meanwhile, the bottom race continues to, stay quite tight as both runners are now in Meyer.
Yep, we'll probably be seeing the mountain directly afterwards, but again, this is like, they could go directly to the boss right now, and they're just going to find a little bit of love and whatever else is in here.
Right.
Actually, I think they might have already found the item. Maybe not, I don't know.
Yeah, I can't remember where the first item location was, but if the boss had one then, and the players made the dive in here, then...
Oh, sonicam found the big key. Let's see where they go. While SaltyPhry is entering Vitreous and doing the really quick kill with those silvers.
Yep.
Holding the sword out as a buffer, too. It's even safer.
Right, yeah, don't want to take that hit when you can just poke them away.
Does have quite a few arrows, though. Like, I wouldn't be...
Yeah, don't have to be too worried.
The thing about the eyes is that they go where you were, not where you are.
Right.
So as long as you're moving, you're not going to get hit.
Right. Kyong getting his powder here. Be happy to see it in this difficult and bubble-filled dungeon. And there goes Rywek with his gold sword, gonna get those gold mitts.
That's fitting. And some frustration slashes, which are warranted, and frustration ether.
Right.
Probably knows at this point.
Yeah.
What happened.
And he's just gonna unload. Yup. An ether on the ether tablet is somewhat fitting, isn't it?
Yeah, that is true. Just sending it back once it came originally.
Right. Nice hookshot strats from Kyong here.
Yeah, I'm partial to using the cape, even if I have the hookshot, just because, I don't know, I like the cape.
Yeah. And we're going to see the Fat Fairy check from here, and I believe somebody in chat pointed out earlier that the red bomb is stronger than the blue bomb, to get back on that.
yeah, so yeah, we're gonna be seeing someone set up us the bomb here.
What you say?
We get signal.
We get signal.
Let's stop that there.
Yeah. We'll see what we do get from Fat Fairy, though, in just a moment, as Rywek is going to put that ether to work once more to get into Turtle Rock now. Vitreous goes down for sonicam.
So, Rywek, now with the middies, can get his boots.
Oh, we get single is what we get out of Fat Fairy. Single arrow.
Single arrow.
Yo. Somebody has set us up the valid.
So it was very, very fitting. Very
Yeah,
fitting
it sure was. Yeah, got lucky on that one.
So nobody's going to the obvious location. Like, the last thing you got, where can that take you?
Yeah.
Although, I don't know if SaltyPhry, I guess they haven't checked Catfish at this point.
Yeah.
I think the bottom two runners are probably... I think the bottom two runners are probably both thinking they're behind at this point.
Right. And yeah, what do you call Rywek getting into his boots then? And I think that's go for him too, right? Yeah.
Yep, go mode.
Yeah. Just obviously quite a bit behind at the point.
Right. Kyong not really or being pretty indecisive on whether or not they want that switch open or closed.
Right.
And this here is like the easiest dark room in the game. Like, you might think it's hard if you haven't done it, but it's just...
Yeah, it's nice because it's just on a set pattern, and you get a little bit of an idea of where you are by the fire bar spinning.
But we'll be seeing our final crystal soon, which is
Indeed
pretty nice. 132 crystal,
yeah.
4 players on the scene.
Trapping the pokey on the pegs there.
They deserved it. I think those things are, I don't know, like they're like the kind of people who do something really like mean or jerkish, but they don't know that they're doing it. Like, they're just going around having the time of their lives while they're making Link's life a living hell.
You're right.
So, sonicam is making the play.
Yeah, gonna go get them boots, it looks like. Kyong just making Trinex look like a baby.
Fun fact, Trinex is named that because he has 3 necks.
Whoa.
Yeah.
You have been subscribed to Patty Facts.
Rywek having a bit of trouble here in this chain shop room.
Yeah, ended up getting through relatively unscathed.
Yeah, they were being a bit trolly though.
Yeah.
Also, this bubble too, but with the powder,
Yeah.
he's gonna have his revenge and eat it too.
Alright, so we've got Kyong making his way to Ganon's tower. You know what that means. He's got to find a big key. It's got 22 possible locations. Get your guesses in the chat. Where is that big key?
I believe it is going to be in the 8th location checked.
Alright, so you like that fire bar traditionally, or you just 8 no matter what?
Just 8.
Alright, and I'm an 11 guy. We got a lot of 13s, some 17s, all sorts of numbers coming through here. Here go our first 2.
That is, so It could be the fire bar room. I mean, it's probably going to be it if it is there.
Right.
Not really giving our runners much option on where to go. Unless they really want to take that key back upstairs.
Right. And everyone
Back
say bye,
downstairs.
Bob. Yeah, some of our runners will opt to go ref side. Wow, I saw Rip Bob in the chat and I got all confused. We'll go right side if they get a key over there, but not really a possibility this time.
Finally getting, I believe, is that our first fire shield?
Our two runners on the bottom ended up getting it,
Hmm.
but I kind of forget where. I want to say it must have been Swamp.
So that is 7 chests. If you said 7 or below, then you are wrong and
Yep.
feel bad, or not. It's just a number. And it's not even 8. I feel terrible.
Oh, shucks. This is alright. You get $50 as consolation.
That'd be good. If you got what was in the chest that you that you guessed. So 2 of our runners in the same room right now, although it's not the same race. On
Right.
the left side, sonicam making quick work of it, while Rywek having a little bit of trouble getting through.
Big 20 in chest number 9. By the way, in case you hadn't picked up on it, that did put Sonicam in go mode, picking up those boots.
Yep, that is our third go mode.
Yep, and he's certainly leading his race at this point.
SaltyPhry really thinks they're behind, and it's true at this point.
Right.
By deciding to go into Swamp instead of Turtle Rock.
Alright, and chest 11, or 10 through 13 go down. We're up to Bob's chest, number 14, most likely. Sonicam blasting Trinex into oblivion.
Yep, no randomizer room. Maybe the tile room. It seems like it might be a tile room seed.
Yeah, maybe so.
I don't know where tile room sits on the hype scale.
Oh, definitely, it's pretty low. Alright, Bob just hoarding 10 arrows. Want you to be ready for that Armos fight. I should think that, Kyong's just fine at a 55.
Given these Armos on ice the what for?
Yeah, the show wasn't very good. And
So,
the big key at number 17. Saw a couple of those in the chat.
That's the vanilla room.
Indeed, usually in that front chest. And if you said number 17, what do we win today?
I don't know. Maybe a duck call of your very own. So you can do the
Swag duck?
swag duck anthem.
Yeah, that's right, your very own swag duck.
You have to find Kakariko Village to activate it first, though.
Yeah.
So that's the problem. Now, are we going to be seeing a bird toss here? That's the most important question in
I
this
sure hope
entire
so.
double race. Yes.
We've got it. All right, Rywek, the true winner in our book. Not letting the bird toss remain a dream.
So, Gauntlet's going all right so far.
Yeah. Rocking the pot strats, I dig it. Missing on the fire rod. It's a tricky one to line up with the conveyors.
And we got a trolley Zazak.
Yeah.
Zazak? I don't know.
Zazak, we'll say.
The jury is still out on whether or not they're lizard men or horsemen. So the name doesn't even matter at that point.
Right. Some kind of Liz horse. Or Horsard.
Pat Zasak.
And that was kind of what I was thinking of. I was trying to come up with something for Vanna White. I couldn't really get it done. So...
Oh goodness, Vanna White is blind, of course.
There we go. That makes sense too, because there's quite a number of Zazaks in Keepstown. But yeah.
SaltyPhry just went to the left side of Swamp, but forgot that there's that troll there with the switch. So they didn't even get to see what was inside Swamp at this point.
Oh no.
The last item.
Oh jeez. Gonna give it up. Which at least ends up working out for him, but he's got to get up there. And
yeah, I mean, sonicam has got all of the crystals at this point. Just needs to make their way to Ganon's tower, while SaltyPhry just really wants this to be the trolliest seed possible. Because
right. He's wishing for all the worst.
I think they've lost if these plays aren't working out, and they're right.
Right. At this point, both of these races pretty firmly away.
But got all the keys we need upstairs in Ganon's tower, so don't need to deal with Helmosaurs.
Right. We're gonna see Moldorm 2 or Aga 2, and then a big pig fight.
Even have the powder to get a quick top off on their health, although Kyong didn't really want the top off. They just really hated that last heart. And skipping the last chest in the game, which is, you know, they have everything they need.
Right.
A lot of people in the chat want Dairy Queen. I don't know why.
Yeah.
This is not a sponsored stream of any sort.
Yeah, guys, can you please keep the ads out of chat?
There's so many spam bots, man.
All right.
I didn't know like such a wholesome company could resort to something like this. The same tier as Elena.
Oh, it's so close to the triple now.
Yeah,
although I wonder if
nice
either those two or yeah, and almost one. Oh wow, I'm setting up for that trip easy. Down before it was needed.
Kyong is artificially inflating that bonk count, so whatever you know your bonk tally was at, just make sure to up that by a couple. I'm sure everybody has had their like calculators out.
Yeah,
has been keeping track of every single player at this point. I mean, I know I do.
Well, we get our gastropods line from Ganon. Is this gold sword is gonna make quick work?
I have no idea what that quote is from.
To be honest with you, I can't quite remember myself.
Chat should illuminate me.
Apparently it's from Burger King. Wait, no, Rick's talking about something else in chat.
So, phases 1 of 2 of Ganon are short work with the Butter Sword.
Oh, for sure.
Kyong already has the bow out, ready to give Ganon a silver injection.
Right. Get that first part of Phase 4 started. Hopefully before the torches go. And will for sure get it. Gonna line up and try to line that torch glitch. Oh, just missing it, but not too much of concern with this loadout.
Right. And we're on to the final 2 hits. Unfortunately, Ganon doesn't seem to want to make it easy on us.
Yeah, not really given the opportunity for the doubles based on some of the way this is lined up. There goes GG for Kyong.
Damn. Kyong is done with an SRL time of 1:44:20. And we have GG's.
Yeah, very nice time for the seed.
GG's in the SRL room. And sonicam is making their way through the rando room. They'll be getting their big key soon enough, and I guess we'll see if Kyong wants to join us.
And we just got sonicam working his way through Gadden's tower here. I'm gonna get close to Bob's chest, hop in, and give the Armos what for.
I think Kyong's taking a nice break.
Yeah. And now be as good as time as any to shout out to our tracker, Sidario, for helping out. Fiesel for setting up the restreams as always. The rest of the crew who help out with speed gaming, our mods, PA, Mythical, plenty of other people who I'm sure I'm forgetting. Give these runners a follow. It's been quite a race in many different directions.
Yep, I see Kyong in the waiting room now.
I was gonna say, and we're just in time to bring our victor. Kyong, GG.
Good game.
Hey, thanks.
Yeah, that was quite the run. You ended up piecing together things,
God.
left your lamp behind, and just said, "To heck with it, I'm getting this thing over with."
Yeah, then I knew what it was, but it didn't seem worth it anymore.
Right.
That mirror baited me so much.
Oh, I know. And I forget if you had gone into pod without it. One of you up top had done that, and I couldn't remember if it was you or Rywek.
Did what? Sorry?
Pod without the mirror.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I did pod without the mirror.
Yeah. But still able to pull quite ahead on your opponent for being able to get to those boots sooner. That ended up being the troll item for all four of you. In fact, SaltyPhry has yet to get it. Yeah.
Yes. At some point, SaltyPhry, I think, decided they were behind and wanted to just start checking like all the trollier locations instead of going to like the obvious mountain play. And
I mean, I went there because I got meat so much.
yeah. Let's see. One thing. Well, first off, you were the first person to finish. I assume,
Right.
if you didn't know that. sonicam in the other race is still racing. Rywek is currently in Ice Palace in go mode. So one thing that was interesting for the races is that you and Rywek took pretty similar paths early on, and the bottom two, the other two racers that were in the four-way, took a completely a separate path.
Right.
And you guys ended up getting kind of the short end of the stick, actually, because the other racers had the book by the time they went to the mountain for the first time.
I see.
So-
yeah.
Yeah, for the mids.
That was dumb.
So I guess the question is, like, I mean, obviously it took both of you a little while to get back to the mountain after you got the book. Like everybody had the book pretty quickly, reasonably quickly. So like, what I guess spurred that decision to go there, outside of other options? Or I guess maybe.
To go to Ether tablet.
Mhm.
Didn't really have more options. I think the only options at that point was and going to the tower I knew was because it was the only place that have been the land at that point. So it was pretty much less location possible for me, sure.
That makes sense.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
Because
it's hard.
I full full cleared swamp. I checked the stuff to see if I needed to calm or something. I did pretty much everything. I think.
Yeah.
What-
Any other thoughts on the run? Any parts that had you kind of relieved or laughing even?
To be honest, I'm quite happy that you said I took the same path, because that was kind of what I come into this race. Because he was talking according to me direct. He felt that be aggressive into dungeons. So I kind of a little bit as well. So because I knew that I have a leg up a path he did.
Hey, can you say that last part again? I'm sorry. There's been a cut.
Yeah. As Rywek said, in this he felt and do the dungeons more aggressive, skip over walls.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay.
And
yeah, saying that.
I felt that I had to try and think how he would play and try to.
No, it seems like that worked out for you. In fact, I guess yeah, Rywek did go pretty aggressive on the dungeons, I guess. Of course, the boots, which he has finally attained, yeah, leading him into his go mode.
Yeah, the main difference between you and Rywek and sonicam and SaltyPhry was that you guys decided to do Palace of Darkness very early, and they both decided to put it off until like it was like the last option.
Right.
And yeah, that led you to the mountain first. So it took Rywek a long time to make it to the mountain, unfortunately for him. So that's kind of what led to this large gap between you two.
I see.
All right. Well, we appreciate you joining us, Kyong. You have any final thoughts you want to give?
Nothing really. Just thanks for the commentary.
Oh yeah, and thank you for the run, guys. Be sure to give Kyong a follow. Putting on an awesome run here, and thanks again for the run. Good luck with the rest of the tournament.
Thank you.
All right. So sonicam is finishing up Ganon here pretty quickly, and these two runners are actually going to end up being what, 3-1 now?
Yeah, Kyong advancing to his 3-1 now.
Yep. So these guys are both already guaranteed in that wildcard match. They only have to win one more match, although the matches are going to get harder for them as it goes on. So right now we have sonicam just finishing off Ganon with that last.
Yep, GG for him.
That last single arrow. So we get a GG on the bottom, while SaltyPhry just finished up Desert. And I must have missed SaltyPhry actually entering go mode.
Yeah, I guess I did too. And so he crosses the bridge, finishing in first place with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 53 minutes, and 6 seconds. As we do with Rywek, looking around for the big key now.
Yeah, I mean, one of the good things about this seed is that they're all going to end up taking the same path, more or less.
Right.
Like, they couldn't really go to the right unless they went to the left first, which I guess if somebody decided to do Dark Magician route.
Right, or even just like a really bold gamble in the tile room feeling behind. But now at this point, knowing that the outcome is secure, we'll see some more traditional strats.
And we'll see if sonicam wants to join.
Right.
Don't see him in the waiting room just yet.
Quite alright.
I know, like, when I'm racing, I need to step away.
For sure, yeah. This is certainly a mental exercise, him physical one to some extent, having to get your execution, your button presses, your inputs, and yeah, you need a minute.
Yeah, usually it's for a different reason though.
Sure.
I mean, it's that and cooling down.
Right.
I don't want to be all shaky
Right.
when I'm in the interview. And they said sure, but they're not in the waiting room yet.
Like you said, probably just taking the small break. Meanwhile, Rywek closing in on that key. Getting that bonk, avoiding the screen trans.
So the records after this are going to be 3-1 for the winners, and then 2-2 for the losers.
Right, and as you mentioned earlier, securing a spot in the wild card at worst for our two winners.
And we shouldn't really count either of these runners out.
Oh no, I mean, this has been something of a troll seed, especially putting the... There was just something about the order of the items that was like, okay, it just becomes very difficult to map.
Right. And we see now sonicam in the waiting room.
Alright.
So
let's get him in. sonicam.
Hey guys.
Congrats on the win.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. And how you feeling about that run?
In the beginning I was feeling pretty good. And then when I went to that TR gamble, I kind of felt pretty bad after that one. No ice rod, so I was pretty scared, and I had no boots, so I'm like, and I know the game is boot locked, I needed it for Desert Palace.
Right.
I was getting a little nervous, thinking that, you know, my opponent already had boots, and he didn't do that gamble. And of course, Pod strikes again.
Right. Yeah, having 3 of its 5 items be pretty much money.
Yeah.
Well, money in not the literal sense in this case, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were kind of you were sniffing out the right area for this boots though, heading into TR. Ended up finding them in what I thought was a pretty funny spot because that's the chest in that cave that you bonked to.
Exactly.
So
to either have boots or a hookshot in that one.
Yeah.
So I believe SaltyPhry eventually did the Turtle Rock gamble as well.
I think so.
Didn't get anything out of it. The problem is that both of you guys were very close after, I believe, I think like Misery Mire. You guys went to Palace of Darkness and Misery Mire around the same time, and
yeah, and probably by a certain measure, at that point you were behind. Like since that was the target, he was a bit ahead of you. But yeah, and you ended up getting up to your hookshot cave, so obviously that plus a speed boost kind of tucked this one away for you.
So you went to Swamp Palace?
Yes.
Yeah.
Ouch. Oh no.
Yeah.
I think SaltyPhry decided they were behind.
Yeah, because it was Swamp Palace, it was Bat, it was a lot of different things before Hookshot Cave.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so it was a bit unfortunate.
I did a lot of overworld, and I think that probably was the worst thing. And I was really holding off on those 2 pendant dungeons. I guess I should have just did Pod, and I probably would have had a better lead, but I'm really glad I didn't do Swamp. Wow.
Right, yeah. Yeah, and they seemed to be calling with their high item counts, but it ended up only going 50-50.
Yeah, coin flip, you know, those things are killers. I know the feeling.
Yeah, it is a randomizer after all.
Yeah. How did the other 2 do? Were they racing in the same seat?
They were, yeah. Kyong92 has won. That one he finished about 10 minutes before you, I guess.
Okay.
And then Rywek is still running it. He's in the Torch Fire Bar room in the Ascent. Yeah, so.
And SaltyPhry is now entering the Gannon Tower.
Right.
So you had quite a bit of a lead, but that's to be expected when somebody decides to clear out literally everything else.
Yeah.
Going to
that was painful. Yeah. So, I really felt like I was really far behind, and I don't know. I guess it kind of worked out.
Yeah, making the gambles you needed to. had the 6 items in Swamp versus the 4 in Hookshot, or I guess if you hadn't done Super Bunny, maybe it was even. But
yeah. But when I found the ice rod, I'm like, all right, so I might as well just go back up for that last chest from the boss.
Right.
Let me just go ahead and do the Hookshot cave, and I guess I lucked out on that.
Yeah, and it'll be exactly what needed to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys kind of lucked out by not doing Palace of Darkness early, because, or at least not before you went to the mountain, because you were able to get that book and get the Titan's Mitts, which caused the two other runners in the 4-way a lot of trouble. It was it was really interesting to watch this, because you and your opponent were in the same situation, and the other 2 players were in a completely different situation, and none of you could get to Mire.
Right.
Yeah, that's crazy. And I kind of hesitated for a bit. I was thinking about, let me go into Mire, but wait a minute. No, I can't. No boots and no hookshot. So I'm glad I didn't try to do it, because I've done that before in an SRL race. Where I'm like, can't do anything here. Let me get out of here.
Right.
Yeah.
So do you have any less thoughts about that, other than what's been said already?
I mean, I felt like it played that pretty well. I made a couple of dumb mistakes, like when I was at Spectacle Rock, I was like pressing flute for whatever reason, and I fluted away, so I had to go back to 1, and I had to go back up and scale the mountain to get the tempered sword. That was pretty dumb. I mean, other than that, I felt like I did pretty well. Execution can be a little bit better, but I feel like I did pretty decent. You know, definitely shout outs to you guys. You guys are awesome.
Oh, thanks.
Great to have the commentators. And I can't wait to watch this one over on the VOD.
Yeah, it's a very interesting race.
Yeah, it was. The items were they were just in such a weird order, but no, your execution was definitely pretty solid through this whole race, and you know, if nothing else, it was enough to get you the victory. And really, it's one of those things you can only take them one match at a time, right?
Yeah, that's true. Absolutely.
All right, cool. Well, if that's it, we'll probably be bringing Rywek in pretty soon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, because he's in the actual Ganon fight.
Oh wow.
I mean, you can say if you like, but so Ganon is really easy and is going to be done really quickly. we've seen him twice now. It's hard to talk about.
Right.
Yeah, there's really not much to talk about with that.
Rywek got a rare second phase, or second, not phase, second, what are they called? Cycle? In the second phase.
Oh, okay. Oh, he didn't get the good corner?
Nah, I think he got kind of trolled there.
Oh, that sucks.
And taking some hits off the Ring of Fire now.
Yeah, Ganon Phase 3 is a jerk because it's like a rich get richer scenario. if you're there to like hit him, he won't retaliate. But if you're not, you're probably already in a bad enough position.
Right, just getting whooped on.
Yeah, and then you just get more more fire. You know what's weird is like why doesn't Ganon's fire bats light the torches?
There's a lot of questions to be asked about this game.
Oh, a lot of them have been asked about the relative value of rupees, the geography of Hyrule. And
things got deep.
Yeah, pretty deep.
GG to Rywek.
GG.
Yeah, GG to Rywek. We'll see if we can bring them in shortly. And
them's an official time at 2:03:40.
And we're now just at SaltyPhry, who has gotten upstairs and is going through the gauntlet. We'll probably be seeing if we can bring in Rywek here as well.
So you gotta be feeling pretty good about the 3-1 status, securing the tiebreaker if necessary, but I'm sure you're itching to get that 4th win to avoid it.
Absolutely, yeah. Pretty scary opponents as always. And I think it's gonna keep getting scarier.
So it looks like Rywek doesn't have a working mic right now, so they won't be joining us.
That's a shame.
So,
with the way the matchups have been going too, who knows who's in the 3-1 set, right? And we had some of our runners drop to 1 and 2 who were in like the final 4 of the tournament in the spring. So who knows?
yeah,
Yeah, that's crazy.
that's what I tell myself about my 1-2 status. That it's I'm the same as Andy.
I mean, everybody has equal chance, pretty much. I mean, as long as you have a decent knowledge of the game, and if you get lucked out, sometimes you just get lucked out, and you can beat really strong opponents.
Right. So one of the amazing things about this randomizer.
Yeah, but I really don't want to rely too much on luck, which is why I'm trying to practice on execution. And if I have that down packed, then I'm gonna have to only get a little bit lucky, hopefully.
Right.
Yeah, execution is. I mean, like you can get the routing down, but execution never stops.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And sometimes the randomizer can just demand more from you in a different seed. Just like, all right, Fighter Sword Vitreous, let's go.
Master Sword Ganon and Silverlist.
Right, yeah. That's
Green Mail, oh boy.
Yeah. The granddaddy of all tough fights.
Fun stuff.
What's that?
Yeah, it's fun stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So SaltyPhry is about to enter Troll Dorm 2. And I mean, down to 3 hearts, but with the powder, it's pretty much a gimme.
Yeah, this room is a nice restock here.
Oh, did he fall? He fell?
No,
Oh.
not yet. I wonder, like, this game has got to be pretty hard to a new player who doesn't know about the bubbles.
Right.
Powder.
Yeah, I didn't know about that until I started playing the randomizer. I had no idea that does that. It's really good to know. Same thing with powdering the stupid dead rocks. I didn't even know that was a thing. After I found that, I kind of just sat there one day and just kept powdering all of them and just killing them.
Making up for lost time.
Yeah, seriously. They are ridiculously annoying.
Yeah, for sure.
Some quick revenge. Does Quake do the same thing to dead rocks?
I think so.
Oh, wow. I didn't even know that either.
Yeah. I'd known about Quake and then had learned about Powder from the Rando community. Then, there's another one, Strange Item Interaction I didn't know about. Blanking on it. It might have just been, I didn't know about sprinkling the bunny bombs.
Oh, wasn't there one where you can freeze the dead rocks? Like with the ice rod and then the hammer? Or am I thinking of something else?
That's like normal guards. You can do that, and it gives you like a different drop. It's like a full magic drop in the vanilla game.
Oh, interesting.
Pretty useful to have if you, or pretty useful to know if you, I guess, don't know where like the bonk places are.
Right. Yeah.
Salty having a pretty good Agate 2 there, getting ready for his Ganon fight.
This is a pretty, kind of a trolly seed to see 2 runners out of 4 get over a 2-hour time.
Yeah. It's I'm trying to remember what the early progression was, really. I mean, getting those power gloves out of the Eastern Big Chest was like a huge sigh of relief.
Yeah. When I saw 2 swords, like I had the Master Sword and Kakariko, I'm like, that pretty much means agging him.
Right,
and
yeah.
I'm really glad it didn't go up there, because I would have been upset.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. But it kind of wanted you to, like, do as much as possible in the beginning. Right? It didn't want you to, like, rush anything.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and then the lamp came up like relatively late overall too. So it's one of those things where like if you're supposed to do Aga, the seed's gonna give that to you.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I got it pretty early. It was in Ice Rod Cave.
Right.
Yeah, and I swam to it with the flippers. So I got that pretty early. So that's what really was thinking was Aghanim.
Yeah.
You know, cape, 2 swords, and the lamp.
And you were the only one to get it for quite a while.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was about 1 hour and 8 minutes before anybody else got it.
Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, Kyong actually never picked it up.
Yeah, that
Which
guy
I
doesn't
guess
really need it.
Yeah, which I guess contributed to some of the speed.
Yeah.
Yeah, but GG to SaltyPhry then. Through his Tempered Sword Silver Ganon.
Oh, he just finished?
Yup, an official
Oh,
time
great.
at 2:10:08.
Awesome, GG.
Yeah.
And
He's gonna come in for an interview?
yeah,
Looks like.
SaltyPhry in here. In not too long.
Yeah, we'll remind you guys, give these runners a follow. We got Kyong and Rywek up top. We got SaltyPhry and sonicam, who's in here with us right now. Shout out to our Trackle Sidario, who I think actually left to go track another match.
Right.
So, yeah, double duty. Let's get Salty in here. Salty, GG.
Thanks, GG Sonic. Way to go.
Hey.
Congrats on your win.
Thank you, GG, man.
And
So
that was a,
how did you think of that one?
Yeah.
It was interesting. I kind of feel like I really screwed myself in that one. I kind of completely forgot about Hookshot Cave. I was up there. I completely cleared everything else, and then I finally got the hookshot and completely forgot about it. So it was like the last thing I went and got the boots out of there.
Oh no.
Yeah, especially
So-
when you've already worked through that section. Easy to kind of think you just had gone through it.
Yeah, that's ultimately what ended up happening. I ended up clearing everything, and then I finally remember when I was on my way up there to kill Trinex and see if the boots were there instead, and I'm like, oh right, I never did Hookshot Cave. I'm like, oh crap.
Yeah, there it was.
Okay. I actually missed. I missed that you went through Turtle Rock the first time. I was wondering why you're leaving that dungeon.
Yeah, if I had gone to Pod instead, I might have actually been in really good shape because I would have got the ice rod and the hook shot. And if I'd gone up there afterwards, I certainly probably would have remembered about the boots in there and probably would have been in good shape if that was the case.
We were talking about this earlier, but both you and your opponent had pretty similar routing and ended up in Palace of Darkness at around the same time. And
Yeah, both obviously very late in the run too.
yeah. So both of you did Mire, and then one of you went up to the mountain. So that was pretty much the decider at that point. Unfortunately.
Had he done part of Turtle Rock as well, trying to find stuff?
Yep. All the way to Laser Bridge and to get a small shield.
Yeah, that was pretty useless there. I figured
Yeah.
every race I've had has had something big in Turtle Rock, but not this
Yeah.
one.
Same here, yeah. I was
I
really
almost-
expecting something.
I almost went into Pod very early on too. Like I was gonna go in there right after Eastern, but then I got the book in Eastern. And I'm like, oh, okay, let's follow this, see where this takes me instead. And I got I guess the mirror is what I ended up getting from that. So that took me all
Yeah.
kinds of different places.
Yep, same here.
The book was also huge that it led to the mitts, which is something that eluded the other two racers for quite a while.
I completely forgot about that up on the Ether tablet there. Yeah,
Yeah, that was a great find.
I guess I found that pretty early. I completely forgot about that up there. But yeah, it was interesting in the end. Yeah, like it would have been an interesting seed if I followed it a little better, I think, and just not completely forgot about that hookshot cave. I would done a lot better because I went and full cleared swamp and checking all those little places that I forgot. Well, I didn't even full clear swamp because I screwed that up. Oh, I was so worried about that I was going to even screw myself more there.
Oh, yeah, we did see that with the unfortunate peg miss on that last chest.
It's been so long since I've done that, and
Yeah,
but it will be a long, long time again before I do it. I guarantee that.
yeah. Now, do you want to know what was in that chest?
Sure. Was it the gold sword or something like that?
It exactly was, yes.
It was a gold sword? Wow.
Yeah, I figured you guys wouldn't be telling me if it wasn't something big like that, and that was about the only
Yeah.
thing I didn't find in the end.
Yeah, yeah. Each of you guys missing out. Well, I shouldn't say missing. It wasn't really in the correct path, but where our top two guys had it, and so like Kyong dropped in for the Ganon fight. I'm just like, okay, GG.
Wow, so Keon went into the swamp?
Yeah, went
Wow.
all the way in through swamp and everything, and he got the pod early, and then I guess he had avoided the Turtle Rock play, I want to say, for the longest time, and then ended up being able to just do that once, and up there just decided he was gonna end up in Hookshot Cave, and that kind of pinned up his run.
Oh, okay.
Or actually, yeah, because his thing was no mitts for a while. Yeah.
Yeah, that guy's great. Like, he's really good.
Yeah.
So, any other thoughts on that seed, or we just want to leave it at that?
Yeah, I think this is one to forget.
Yeah, definitely not my best work. I'd rather just forget this one as well.
Sorry, because you got a couple more rounds, and you're both still within reach of securing a guaranteed spot in this next stage of the tournament. So, good luck to both you guys.
Thank you so much.
Good
luck to you too, Salty.
Thanks very much. Good luck to you guys as well.
Yeah, good luck.
All right, and we do have matches going on Speed Gaming 3 and another one coming up on Speed Gaming at 11, so be sure to check those out. Thank you for tuning in and sticking with us, chat. Thanks, Salty and Sonic for joining us and for the run. Thanks to Daryl. Thank you, Feasel, Myth, Kie.
Oh, thank you, Epi.
Oh, for sure. And thank you, Ruble, for joining me for this commentary for everyone here. I've been Epibliticus, and I have a feeling I'm going to see you in the chat at 11. Good night, everybody.
Take care, guys.